Hey everyone, welcome to the Game Week 22 review video. Not the greatest week, not a terrible week. I didn't really make much of a move in the overall standings at all. 9 points above the average. Once again, when you look at kind of how far you fall above the average, remember the teams included are teams that maybe got set up and never got looked at again after Game Week 1. So sometimes seeing how good you're doing compared to everyone else that's actually playing, looking against the average isn't the best way to go about it, but I still held firm in my rank pretty much, even though I didn't make any transfers last week, despite some people having Lautaro Martinez, for instance, who scored and stuff like that. That obviously I transferred out because of the blank game week previous. But here's how things went. I captained the right. Actually, there's only one other player other than Vlahovic that I could have captained that could have gotten more points, but I don't think anyone would have ever captained him. But Vlahovic scored in a game that they were down to 10 men. Milik got sent off for Juve really early in the game. Really stupid challenge. I don't. It was just frustrating, and that was a way that Juve dropped points this week. But at least Vlahovic was still able to score. I thought that was going to ruin my captaincy decision, but it didn't. So that was good. Um, Lukaku got his 3 points for playing. Giroud missed a penalty, which is why he has the minus score. You can see here he got a -3 for penalties missed, and he got substituted 60 minutes in. So really poor game for Giroud. Milan actually missed 2 penalties in this game. So it really sucks if you had both Giroud and Theo Hernandez. That would have been a tough one to miss 2 penalties. Put it in the comments if that was you, just so I could see how many people actually fell into that unfortunate circumstance. Nothing too exciting out of the midfield. I don't think that is any goals or assists. Yeah, nothing for Ederson there, and nothing for Leao as far as I know. Yeah, so um, just kind of points for playing, maybe some shot blocks and interceptions points there, or some clean sheet points halfway for those. But not a great showing out of the midfield. The defense wasn't bad, at least half a clean sheet for everyone, except for TURATI, who saved a penalty. And that's the only other person who, if I captained them, would have been better than captaining Vlahovic. But a lot of people have TURATI based on his price for a starting keeper. So maybe a lot of people would have been playing him, but I'm glad I played him over Scouffet. Where was Cagliari? Yeah, so I'm glad I made the choice, and I think it would make sense to start a Frosinone keeper against Verona over Cagliari against Torino. But I'm glad I made the decision nonetheless. Would have been nice to maybe have Kandreva instead of Giroud, but otherwise, with getting to roll the transfer and having the players that I have, I'm relatively okay with how this week went. And yeah, we build closer towards picking those players that we want for double game weeks 24-ish, but mainly 26. And at least whenever you bank that transfer, you have a little more flexibility to do what you want that's best for that week. Obviously, you can start bringing in players that you want, but then you do run the risk of injuries and stuff to those players, which kind of puts you behind the 8 ball of what you're trying to prepare for. But that is how my team did. We'll take a look at how things went in our fan league here. And dang, fell back to another page again. I was on page 2 last week. Last Night on Earth, I think is retaining the first spot. Also, Vlahovic captained. Has the here we go, right off the bat, -1 on Giroud and Theo Hernandez. Unfortunate for our leader there. Dybala did well for him, but same kind of scores going around. And I actually made up some points in the leader there by that. So it kind of an off week for our overall leader. And we'll go back to the league. For Padre Pioli. Also a missed penalty there. Bremer with the captaincy, not a bad decision, but didn't work out as well as Lautaro Martinez or Turati, obviously. Even Di Lorenzo didn't have a bad week. But again, another bit of an off week for our leaders, where if you had a bit of a differential team selected, you could have made up some points. Il Biscone back into the top 3, and Colpani finally came through again. He's a player that's been off for a bit after a hot start to the year, but maybe that'll spring him back into the goals action. Took a blank There, unfortunately, Providel got 9, had one of the missed penalties, but overall of our top 3, only first place had the double. But yeah, that's how our top 3 is doing. No real big scores, as you can see this week, and that kind of makes sense why I guess I didn't drop too much, even though it was a lackluster week. Everyone kind of, I guess, maintained regardless of what kind of team you had, and we prepare for round 23. That'll be it for this video. If you have any thoughts going ahead, or what you think you should do with these Milan players that are missing penalties, if you're keeping them or not, put it in the comments below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the team selection early tomorrow. Take care.